Hey guys, Annalise here, the Complexion Concierge. I have a super exciting No Makeup Monday for you guys today, and I can't wait to get started. As you know, if you've been following the blog, if you've been reading the website at all, I have a really big pet peeve with the beauty industry and the lies that we sell to women all over the world. And I also have a big pet peeve that we as women just buy it, hook, line, and sinker, literally and figuratively. The beauty industry is a billion-dollar industry that we are supplying, and we are buying the photoshopped, unrealistic expectations every day. About 6 or 7 years ago, I made the decision that I was never going to buy another magazine that told me I was not good enough. So that for me means if there's something on the cover that says, look, you can please him in bed, or 15 ways to get a man, or be 2 sizes smaller by next week, the implication is that I can't get a man on my own. I'm not very pleasing in bed, and I am way too big. I have 2 sizes to lose. So that being said, I do read a lot of Real Simple and Martha Stewart and Food and Wine magazine, which makes me feel completely inferior as a homemaker. So I guess I haven't totally gotten over that, but it has been a personal goal of mine to never be told by my magazine I am not good enough. That being said, I do from time to time read the glossy fashion magazines that are more beauty focused because I feel it's important for me to be to the minute on what is in the zeitgeist, what people are talking about. And I happen to have right here February's In Style magazine. And I made myself some notes because I wanted to walk through this with you like how I do when I'm reading a magazine. So first things first. This is Estee Lauder. This is their new Revitalists Supreme Moisturizer, which is so smart, it knows what my skin needs. What? If that's not the stupidest thing that I've read all day, I don't know what is. It's a moisturizer. Like what? It went to college and got an advanced degree. It's really smart. It did really well on its SATs. It's a moisturizer. Besides the fact that it comes in a jar, and don't get me started on jar packaging, this moisturizer can't know what my skin needs because it doesn't have a brain, right? I mean, why am I giving the power to my moisturizer to know what my skin needs? Why is it not like, you are so smart, you know what your skin needs? Are you kidding me? This is like every reason why I want to do what I'm doing. The second thing I want to talk about is trademark. So Estee Lauder says that it's the first cream with Intuigen technology, TM. So what this means, trademarked words, phrases are protected by our government, and the cosmetics industry doesn't have to explain what they are. Okay, so what is Intuigen? Nobody knows except some scientist at Estee Lauder that made it up. So you can have this super smart moisturizer that has a brain and this technology, but they're never going to tell us what it does. The implication, however, Intuigen, is that it's intuitively genetic. I'm assuming that's what they want me as a consumer to get of it. So I'm assuming it's so smart it like is going to meld to my genes and change my DNA. Now here's the thing. Can't do that because it's a cosmetic. Cosmetic can't change your cellular makeup. Otherwise it would be called a drug, and you can't sell it in a drug. You can't sell it without a prescription. So nothing that you buy without a prescription can change your body. It's just never going to happen. It's not possible. The other thing that we'll go into a little bit more is this idea of tested and proven. At the bottom here, it says tested and proven. In just 4 weeks, 92% of women showed significantly firmer skin. If you've read my blog about clinically tested, you'll know what a bunch of malarkey this is. Clinically tested, A, by whom? B, where? C, how many people did they test? D, when was the testing done? How long was it done for? Were they given a placebo? Did they do other people and give them other options besides just the Intuigen technology? Were they already using Estee Lauder? What did they wash their face with before? When was the last time they moisturized? There are so many details that they leave out. 92% of 4 people is not that big of a deal. So these are not real scientific studies. They are paid by the advertiser. They are paid by Estee Lauder or the corporation that's making the advertisement, and they're being paid, these doctors are being paid to prove what the brand wants them to prove. So I don't want you to ever feel like you should be listening to any of these results. There are scientific tests we can read. They're a little dry. I find them actually really boring to read myself. But dermatologists tested, in an actual dermatology lab with a blind study. We can talk about those. So if you want some clinical results, let's schedule a consultation. Similar thing, we got Lancome's Doreen Tone, which says 72% of women dare to bare their skin. What's funny about this is that this is actually kind of like a tinted serum, so you're not really baring your skin, you're just putting a bunch of silicone and pigment on it. It's a really light foundation, but it's not bare skin. Again, they've got some kind of made up numbers down here. 72% or 70% of women see visibly even skin tone in 1 week. There's also down here a really, really small script. Can you see it right at the bottom down there? So it says all results based on global self-assessment of women of multiple ethnicities in an 8-week study. So what that means is this was self-assessed. Women felt like they saw some sort of effect or result. So it wasn't tested by an outside lab. It wasn't tested by a scientist who measured things on a 10-point scale, for example. It was just a woman saying, it looks better. Or it could be. Or maybe they were only given 2 options. One option might be, it looks better. Or one option could be, it looks worse. And they picked, it gets better. We don't know because we don't go into these details. These studies aren't very scientific at all. So I want to, I'm switching ahead here, talk about, so we're not just offenders in the fancy cosmetics. I want to talk about this Olay. So this is a new Olay Regenerist Moisturizer. It's the Tone Perfecting Cream Moisturizer. I have not played with this, but I will say I looked at its ingredient deck, and the ingredient deck actually looks great. There is a little bit of fragrance in it, which I'd have a huge problem with, but it's not very far up there, and it might be fine. But here's what I find interesting. I will light up every room I walk into, and down here it says, renews surface cells to even skin tone. Okay, renews surface cells is such a non-plausible thing that happens. Our skin cells die as they make their way to the surface. So once they're there, they've already been dead for, I believe, 3 layers of the skin. They lost their nucleus. They are not alive. So even if we're renewing those surface cells, we're not getting like fresh cells. We're not getting like alive cells. It's always going to be dead, dry skin because that's what our skin is. Now, and the other funny thing about that is if it really is renewing cellular turnover, if it's encouraging more effective cellular turnover, it's not really a moisturizer as much as an exfoliant. So again, I haven't played with this personally, so I don't know to be sure, but this is one of those examples of a phrase that maybe you think, oh yeah, renews surface skin cells. Doesn't make any sense. Renews your cellular turnover, encourages more quick cellular turnover. That's good. That's a good thing. Another one, this is a new cleanser from Neutrogena. The Ultra Gentle Cleanser, oddly enough, has fragrance in it. So it's not that gentle. So here's my favorite part about it. You'll see down here in the corner, yoink, try our new hydrating fragrance-free formula for dry, extra sensitive skin. Like just in case you thought you were sensitive, but you were like not so sensitive, you could still use fragrance. We made another one that doesn't have fragrance if you're like really, really sensitive. Neutrogena, like why? Why would you do this? Just make the one without fragrance. Fragrance doesn't do anything except add to user pleasure, but we don't need it. It doesn't make us any better. If anything, it causes more irritation and inflammation. So there we go. Dermatologist tested and dermatologist recommended. This is another good one. Dermatologist recommended. Which dermatologist? The one you've got on staff, Neutrogena? The one who you pay for? I mean, they don't give out names. It's a totally worthless statement. Now, I'm not saying that it wouldn't be recommended by a dermatologist, but to just claim that a dermatologist has recommended this product is no indication of its validity in the environment, because I can pay somebody probably a decent amount of money to have them say, yep, looks good, buy it. So this one, we got better than prescription strength retinol, this Strivectin nighttime retinoid cream. Again, anything you use on your face that comes without a prescription cannot change the cellular function of your body. It cannot change your body's makeup. Otherwise, it would be a drug, and you cannot buy it without a prescription. So if you have a retinoid that you bought without a prescription, it is going to be less irritating than a prescription because the prescription is going to be harsher. And retinoids, and we can talk about these if you want to consult and think about using a retinoid in your future. Retinoids like a Retin-A or a Tazorac are really excellent about changing the function of your skin. If you want to do some real work, we can use these retinoids, but it's going to take about 3 months, 4 months before you start seeing optimal results, and it's going to be rough. It's going to be red, dry, irritated, flaky. You might lose some skin cells where you're feeling a little bit pasty and like a snake shedding its skin. We might not like that, but this is an article that is saying it has been clinically proven to have better prescription strength retinol without irritation. Well, duh. It's like a fourth of its efficacy. It's not nearly as potent. So of course it's not as irritating. It's not as effective because you have retinoids to be effective have to be irritating to get to the point of effect. Does that make any sense? I'm a little confused now. Point being, again, not necessarily a bad product. However, I will say that this product, this over-the-counter, let's call it like a fourth of the strength of a prescription retinoid, is $109. So for $109, there's a lot of things I can think of buying for $109. But if you went to see your dermatologist and got a full strength prescription, even a light prescription that was going to change the cellular makeup of your skin cells, it is $75. So even if you had to pay like a $20 copay, you're still getting out for less than this over the counter. You're just seeing your dermatologist and you're getting a prescription which can effectively change your skin. Also, the generic is $40. So if you really want to use a retinoid, let's talk prescription. Let's not bother with over the counter. It's a waste of your time and mine. Now this is a total offhand comment, but when did Camel start making advertisements in a magazine again? I mean, what is this, like 1962? Not only is it one ad, it's like 5 ads, just in case you wanted to buy flats and some cigarettes at the same time. If I haven't brought it up, if it hasn't been clear, you shouldn't smoke. It's bad for your skin. Okay, my last thing I want to talk about today, because this has been a long video blog, is Dr. Brandt's Do Not Age DNA Transforming Pearl Serum. This one is $150 for an ounce, okay? $150. It's apparently telling me I'm not going to age. And how's it going to do that? On the bottom, it says because they've got 5 years of research and 6 patents. 5 years of research about what? And what did they find out of that research? It's totally plausible that they did 5 years of research and still were like, meh, this doesn't really work, but we researched it for 5 years. Or they applied for 6 patents of Intuigen technology, of other made-up words that don't mean anything. A patent does not mean anything special. If there were a fountain of youth, if this were plausibly going to help women not age, do you think there would still be making it? I mean, everybody would be using it. Everyone would go out of business. We'd all use Do Not Age. We'd all look like we're 22, and we'd stay like that until the day we die. It's just not plausible. So this has been a fun little trip down through February's InStyle magazine. I hope I'm not getting calls from their lawyers later, but I want you guys to be really aware every time you see advertising about beauty, what is actually being said to you and what you're buying. What are you buying? What are you hearing? What are you reading? And what are you taking in as truth? Because what they're trying to say is you're not good enough. You need this product. P.S. It's only $150. You'll be fine. And what I'm saying is you are so good enough. You just don't know what you're using yet. So if you are confused, if this makes you overwhelmed, because it makes me overwhelmed, let's do our consult and let's figure it out together. I promise it's really not this hard. So this has been the President's Day No Makeup Monday blog. I had a super fun time looking at all these ridiculous ads and making fun of them, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Enjoy the rest of your week and have a great one.